to another episode of The Warrior Within. I'm your host, Jaime Bennett. This episode is going to be a little bit different. You're not going to need a box of tissues for this episode. I'm going to be talking about tattoos, but because you have to be 18 years of age to get a tattoo, I will insert the disclaimer now. Viewer discretion is advised, as usual. I'm going to be telling you all about the stigma that has been placed on people who have tattoos, and I'm going to give you a little bit of the history of tattoos. I'm an owner of 7 tattoos myself, and I've had to deal with stigma placed on me because I have tattoos. So the oldest documented tattoo belonged to Otzi the Iceman, who was preserved, his preserved body, I can't even talk today. His preserved body was discovered in the Alps between Austria and Italy in 1991. He died around 3300 BC. The practice of ink insertion under the skin surface originated long before him, though. Like, he's just the oldest mummy that, the oldest body that they had found with tattoos on his skin. And, tattoos are all across the world, and they're used for different reasons. In Egypt, they use them as methods of healing, as well as methods of religious worship. That happened in Egypt and India. That's their reasoning behind tattoos. In the Philippines, they used it to mark the ranks and accomplishments, and the tattoos were believed to have magical properties. When Christianity started, the Christians believed that tattoos were a barbaric practice. So that's where the stigma was placed on tattoos. They believed that the tattoos were a barbaric tradition, and they didn't agree with tattoos. After the Second World War, hepatitis became a huge problem. So because of that, in the tattooing community, like a lot of the tattooing parlors and a lot of tattoos, was banned. Like, you couldn't get tattoos. And in some places, the ban was not lifted until like in recent times. The earliest tattoos were made of carbon and ash. The inks used for the tattoos, the earliest ones were made of carbon and ash. Think about that. That's like, we've come a long ways since then. Charles Darwin once wrote that there was no country in the world that did not practice tattooing or some other form of permanent body decoration. So, tattooing popped up across the world around the same time, during the same time frame. So, you had some form of tattoo or another in many, many, many parts of the world, and it all popped up at the same time, which is very interesting and fascinating to me. In the 19th century, a German ethnologist and explorer by the name of Carl von Steinen believed that the tattooing in South America evolved from the practice of decorating the body with scars. They would use plant sap and rub it into the wounds, which to prevent, the wounds from bleeding, and in turn caused discoloration of the scar. That would be considered a tattoo. Many people get tattoos for many, many different reasons. I know that the reasoning behind my tattoos was to kind of tell my life story. The first tattoo that I ever had gotten was in, I believe, 2004. And me and my best friend that I went to college with got our first tattoos together. So that's a story that, we share, and we'll tie us together for the rest of our lives. You know, it was a bonding moment. And me and that friend had been through a lot in college together. And so we decided to get tattoos together. And I got a very tiny butterfly tattoo. I called it my tester tattoo because I didn't know whether or not I wanted to get a tattoo. So I thought I would get a really small one. And I got one at a tattoo shop in Quincy, Illinois. Amazing tattoo artist. He was really funny. He like teased me because I told him, I said, I'm really nervous. This is my first tattoo. And he was teasing me, but he was a really cool guy and he does amazing, amazing tattoo work. He has a tattoo of a dragon from his neck all the way down his back. Like you can see the tip of the dragon head. And he said that it went all the way down his back. It's just amazing to me. Like, you know, I'm an artist, so I can appreciate, you know, tattooing. You know, it's an art form. It takes a lot of practice, and you know, you have to have a medical license to do tattoos. So, like, you know, I can appreciate the art form. It tells a story. And like I said, you know, my first tattoo was a bonding experience with my best friend. And then, you know, I got other tattoos afterwards, and each tattoo tells a story. My first tattoo was a butterfly. Cliche, I know. But it was a butterfly because that's what I usually sign my artwork with. And to me, butterflies represent, you know, um, coming out of your shell and becoming stronger. You know, you transition in life, and I was in a transition in life at that point in time because I was getting ready to graduate from Quincy University. I had gotten out of a horrible relationship, and to me, the butterfly represented strength. It represented, you know, coming out of my shell and embracing, you know, new opportunities in life. After that tattoo, I went on to get more tattoos. I got two more butterfly tattoos. I designed one of them and I got a tattoo of a star, all by the same tattoo artist. She's an amazing tattoo artist. I really, really appreciated her being my tattoo artist because she was just laid back, and I showed her my tattoos design and she says, "Oh, awesome," you know, and she was gonna give me the tattoo for like just a tip. Like she didn't expect any money out of it. So she was an awesome tattoo artist. And I got butterfly tattoos to further, you know, extend that story of, you know, new opportunities in my life. I had graduated from Quincy University. I had my degree, and I was trying to reach my goals in life of becoming a broadcast, you know, being in the broadcast field. I did end up working for a television station, so I did get to use my degree for a brief moment in time. After I received those tattoos, and I got those tattoos, by the way, my mom was with me because my parents are cool like that. And my dad helped me pick out one of the butterfly tattoos, which is awesome. You don't hear parents doing that too often. So that's something I can remember for the rest of my life too, is that my parents were with me when I got some of my tattoos. So, like, a lot of stigma gets placed on tattoos, you know, and it depends on where you live. Like, in different states, you know, people have different opinions about tattoos. I know I come from Southern Illinois, and in the town in Southern Illinois that I lived in, um, you would get hard looks. Like, people would just stare at you like hatefully if they'd seen a tattoo on your body. They thought that you were unclean. Um, they thought that you were a troublemaker, like that you know, didn't believe in God, or, you know, they would always bring the religious aspect into it. And I don't think that that is right. Some of the nicest people that I have ever met in my lifetime are covered in tattoos. Like, you should never judge a book by its cover, so to speak. You don't know how many times I've heard in my lifetime that you seem so quiet, you seem so nice. I can't believe you have tattoos. I can't believe you would do that to your body. There is nothing wrong with tattoos. It is an expression, it is an art form, it tells a story. I have a tattoo as the size of my hand on my shoulder. When my son Ronan passed away, I got a tattoo of an owl because, during that time frame in my life, the only thing that was cheering me up were the owls outside of our house hooting at each other. And, that just always would bring a smile to my face because I knew that everything was going to work out and that everything was going to be okay. Those same owls were outside our house when my daughter was in the NICU. So, owls represent a very important thing in my life, and they represent peace to me. They represent hope. They represent that everything's going to be okay. And so I got a tattoo of an owl on my back to represent my son Ronan. I love that tattoo. It tells a very important story, and it's a part of my history. Then I got a tattoo of a music symbol. I don't know if you can really see it. It's a music symbol with lavender flowers. And I got that to represent my grandma Bieber. She helped raise me in the beginning of my life because my mom was bedridden. After she had me, she was really, really sick, and she didn't have enough strength to be able to feed me and take care of me. So my grandma and my dad took care of me for a while. And my grandma had passed away in 2007 is when she passed away, and she always liked to hum, and she was a beautiful yodeler. Beautiful singer. She loved flowers. She had flowers and plants all over her yard. So I got a music symbol and lavender flowers to represent my grandma. And anytime that I look at it, excuse me, I have a frog in my throat. Anytime I look at it, I'm reminded of my grandma and the relationship that I had with my grandma. Um, you know, I would go and stay weeks upon weeks with her during the summer, and just the tattoo makes me smile because it reminds me of my grandma, and I know that she's with me every step of the way. Then I got a tattoo. I don't know if you all can see it. You can kind of see it. It's kind of hard to see it, but it's a Luna moth in front of a waxing gibbous moon. And the reason why I got that tattoo is because Luna moths represent rebirth to me. They represent, something positive, a positive future, positive beginnings. And I got it in front of a waxing gibbous moon because that is the moon phase that I was born under, that my daughter Willow was born under, and that my son Ronan was born under. We were all born under the same moon phase. So this tattoo links us together. This tells our story. It tells our story of strength and overcoming obstacles in life and becoming stronger because of them. Like I said, a lot of people have gotten stigma placed upon them, and, it's very frustrating to have somebody be judged because they have tattoos on their body. A lot of times people don't want to be served by people who have tattoos, and I can't understand that. It does not make sense to me because, who cares if they have tattoos? They're probably a really awesome person, and you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. Like I said, a lot of the people that I know in life that are really, really nice. A lot of the nicest people that I have ever met are covered in tattoos. My cousin, who is married to a tattoo artist, has tattoos. And she's an awesome person. She is a massage therapist. So, like, people should not place judgment upon people just because they have tattoos or body modifications, like, earrings, or, I don't know. Some people get their ears extended to look like elf ears. You shouldn't judge someone because they look different or because they've gotten a body modification. It's not hurting you. And as long as they're not hateful to you, you shouldn't judge them. Yeah, so, like, all over the world, tattoos have been used in different cultures and different traditions and for different reasons. Like I said, some cultures use tattoos as, religious properties. They use them as healing properties. They use them to mark rank. You have, I believe in Malaysia, I'm not for sure, don't quote me on this, but I believe in Malaysia, they use this, like, I think it's like a thorn of some sort, like it's a plant, and they like burn the tip of it, and they put ash into it, and they poke the skin, and they poke the ash into the skin. And we've come a long way during that process. You have tattoos that have been done in prisons, and because they were done in prisons, a lot of times they were probably done with metals. And you can't go into an MRI machine with some tattoos because of the metals. It could rip the metal right out of your tattoo and right out of your skin. So, yeah, maybe the Christians thought of it as a barbaric tradition, but, to each their own. People have a right to express themselves. They have a right to tell their story in art form. To me, I don't think having a tattoo is any different than, a painting or a poem or a song. People express themselves in different ways, and tattoos are used to tell a person's story. They're used to express somebody, their story, used to express themselves. Geez, I can't talk today. So, like, my son, who is like, he's 19, he's going to be turning 20. He got a tattoo when he was 18. Got a tattoo of something from Star Wars. He grew up watching Star Wars with his dad. So, that kind of tells a story. That's a bonding thing for him. It's something that he can tell his kids growing up, that, yeah, I got this tattoo to represent your grandpa, the times that I would go and watch Star Wars with your grandpa. Like, it's a bonding thing. It's a bonding experience. I know that when I went and got my first tattoo with my friend, my best friend, it was a major bonding experience. We went and got tattoos because we went to a trivia night at the college, and we happened to win second place. And so we had the money to go and get tattoos. And I was like, hey, why don't we go and just, get our first tattoo? I wouldn't mind getting a tattoo. So, like, when he told his mom that he got a tattoo, she smacked him on the leg and said, "What'd you do that for?" My parents were cool with it. They didn't mind. But he has since gotten more tattoos to represent, moments in his lifetime that were extreme, memorable moments. I know that he had heart issues in his lifetime and had to be placed on a CPAP machine. He has to sleep with one of those machines now because he almost died because of his heart. So he went and got a tattoo of a heart on him, and he had things added to it to add to the story. So, don't judge something that you don't know about, and don't judge something that, you know, you wouldn't get for yourself just because you wouldn't get it for yourself. Because, like I said several times, just because a person has a tattoo or they have a weird piercing or their body has been modified doesn't make them a bad person. It just makes them a person who's got a story to tell. And maybe you shouldn't place judgment on the person before you get to know them. Because, like I said, a lot of the people that are nice to me and some of the nicest people that I've met in my lifetime have tattoos. So, get to know a person before you judge them. I absolutely adore having my tattoos. Um, Does it make me a bad person? No, it doesn't. And I really hope that, that stigma changes with tattoos at some point. I mean, we have gone farther in life with those stigmas. Because like I said, where I'm from, it wasn't accepted. People would look at you harshly. They would judge you harshly because of your tattoos. But 30 minutes away from that town that I lived in, it was accepted. It was acceptable. Like, nobody bothered you about it. Nobody looked at you weird for having a tattoo. I have had jobs, like I've had interviews with companies that wouldn't hire me because I have a tattoo on my arm. Or they would automatically tell me, you have to wear long sleeves in the summer to cover up your tattoo. And it's been the same with like dyeing your hair weird colors. That's another, thing that has gotten bad a bad rap, is like if your hair is neon pink or if you decided to dye your hair blue. I've had, companies tell me, you're going to have to dye your hair a normal color in order for us to hire you. And I've had to dye my hair a normal color, and I've had to hide who I am, to get a job. And I really hope that that changes in life. I really hope that tattoos and people expressing themselves in that way changes. When I moved to where I live now, I live near Rome, Georgia. Um, it's accepted. I haven't had anybody look at me harshly because I have tattoos. And I see a lot of people with tattoos in my area, and, it's just accepted. I've asked the vet clinic that I worked at, hey, is it okay that I have a tattoo? Oh, yeah, no problem. And they didn't even require me to cover it up. It's the same at, some of the restaurants that I've worked at around here. They said, oh, as long as it's not anything inappropriate, we don't care that you have tattoos. It's not a big deal. You don't need to cover them up. It's not a big deal at all. It's accepted. So, I really hope that that changes. And I really hope that, in this episode, I know that I've rambled a lot. I'm kind of tired, to be honest, mom life, right? I've kind of rambled a little bit, but I hope what you've gathered from this show is that to not judge somebody because of their appearance. And, like I said, I've heard it so many times. You seem so quiet, Jamie. You seem like such a nice person. I can't believe you have tattoos. I can't believe you would do that to yourself. Do what to myself? I didn't do anything to myself. I'm expressing myself artistically. Tattoos are an art form, and any tattoo artist, who does tattoos, the tattoo artist who's done my tattoos is an amazing artist, and they helped me to tell my story, and it's part of my history. You can see my story written upon my skin in my tattoos. And each tattoo has a story in itself to tell. And, whenever I look at my tattoos, I smile and I think, wow, what an amazing journey I have been on. And I think it's awesome, that tattoo artists can help you tell your story, can help you express yourself artistically. So I hope that you all have, gathered from this show, um, you know, the idea that you shouldn't judge a person by the way that they look, and that, maybe in the future tattoos will be more accepted. Different color hair will be more accepted, piercings will be more accepted. Realize that just because a person has these things doesn't make them a bad person. They're probably a really nice person. And I so appreciate you all watching today's program. I hope that it was entertaining and informational. And as always, love, hugs, and blessings.